Hello students, welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. In this video, we are going to discuss about a recent proposal by the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gases, where it is proposing to totally ban the diesel vehicles in India in all the cities where population is higher or greater than 1 million. So we are going to take a detailed look about this particular proposal. What are the challenges that this proposal might have to face on a practical level, and what is the benefits that the proposal is expected to deliver as far as the vehicular segment of Indian motor industry is concerned. So first of all, to give you the context of this particular issue, a panel that was formed by the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, it has recommended a ban on the use of diesel-powered four-wheeler vehicles by the end of year 2027. The law or the proposal or this ban will be applicable in cities with a population of more than 1 million, and thus in place of the diesel powered vehicle, the focus will be on transition to electric and gas fueled vehicle. The Energy Transition Advisory Committee that was headed by former Petroleum Secretary Mr. Tarun Kapoor, it also has recommended that city transport should basically be a mix of metro trains and the electrical buses by the year 2030. Now let us take a look at the background of this particular proposal. So panel's recommendation has come in the wake of the government stated aim where it is trying to reduce the greenhouse gas emission. It also aims to produce 40% of electricity from the renewable energy as part of its 2070 net zero goal emission. The proposal will have a significant impact and footprint in the many cities of India where the population is more than 1 million, and 1 million figure, especially in the time when the India has overtaken China as the most populous nation, is very less. And that is why it is not only the metropolitan cities of India that will be affected by this particular ban, but also smaller cities such as Kota in Rajasthan, Raipur, Dhanbad in Jharkhand, Vijayawada in Andhra Pradesh, Jodhpur in Rajasthan, and Amritsar in Punjab. These cities will also be affected because of this ban as the population figure is greater than 1 million. So now let us try to understand what is the concerns or issue with this particular proposal. So first of all, this proposal only tells that this has to be done. Now, how exactly this will be done at the practical level, how this ban will be implemented, what will happen to the older vehicles, whether it will be confiscated or what will be done with that, is something still not very clear. Second is, if we talk about the commercial transportation, especially the medium and heavy commercial transportation, the goods on the highways across the country by trucks. These are basically trucks and buses. They are flying across most of Indian cities, and diesel is the main fuel on which they run. Second, if we talk about the concerns of auto industry players, they also have argued that the car makers have a presence in diesel segment, especially those car makers which are having a presence in diesel segment. They already are in compliance with the current emission norm, that is the BS6 norm, and that is why it will add an extra burden for them to switch from diesel making industry diesel engines to some other variant engine, whether it is petrol engine or the gas based engine. So the investment amount is very heavy by the automakers, and they already have invested huge amount in just transitioning from BS4 to BS6 norms, and thus this extra burden of transitioning from or completely banning of diesel engines will be actually cause of concern for them. So let us try to understand that why diesel is preferred over the petrol engines. So first of all, diesel engines have a much higher fuel economy as compared to petrol engines because of the greater energy content. If you talk about the diesel fuel itself, it has much higher energy content as compared to the petrol. And second, inherent efficiency of diesel engine is also much more greater as compared to the petrol engine. And the reason behind this very simple. Diesel engines do not use high voltage spark ignition or spark plugs as you see in the motorcycles, petrol and motorcycles, and thus end up using less fuel per kilometer as they have higher compression ratios and making it the fuel of choice for heavy vehicles. Basically, we try to understand diesel engines also offer more torque, that is the rotatory motion or rotatory force on turning force, and thus are less likely to stall as they are controlled by a mechanical or electronic governor, thereby proving to much better for a long distance haulage. So why there is a concern and why there is a move away from diesel by the government? First reason is that diesel engine have higher compression ratio, and due to the higher compression ratio, though the engines are much more efficient, it also causes increased emission of the NOx. NOx basically refer to the oxides of nitrogen, which is a very important, or which is very major greenhouse gases that causes global warming. Second, in recent time, there has been emission scandal as well. For example, the German car manufacturing company Volkswagen. So the emission scandal also has increased the negative perception against diesel across the market, including India. So Volkswagen basically has accepted that few years back they have accepted a special kind of system in their diesel vehicles which could have overridden the emission control standard set by the diesel vehicle or set in the diesel vehicle. So that has also caused a lot of distrust among the diesel basically you can say diesel engine vehicle. Third, we can understand that Maruti Suzuki, that is the car company of India, and other car makers have exited the diesel segment mainly after the coming of or implementation of the BS6 emission norms from the April 1st, 2020. It is mainly because of the prohibitively high cost of upgrading diesel engines to meet the new standard, and also the government has suddenly leapfrogged or has taken the decision to leapfrog directly from BS4 to BS6, and that has caused a lot of cost in the upgrading of diesel engines. So that is why many diesel companies, diesel engine manufacturing companies, the diesel manufacturing cars are switching due to the unviability of retaining diesel in their portfolio. So that is some reasons why companies are moving away from diesel. Apart from that, you talk about from the perspective of controlling the emission, diesel engine vehicles as per BS6 norms, which is the most recent emission control norms applied in India, they have to be fitted with three different kind of system. First is selective catalytic reduction system has to be fitted. It is believed to be the most effective solution for reducing the NOx, that is oxides of nitrogen, and particulate matter. However, these are very, very costly, increasing the cost of diesel engine vehicle. Second, it has to fit it with a diesel particulate filter, again to reduce the level of pollution. And third, it has to fit it with a lean NOx trap. Lean NOx trap again is a cost-effective tech but suitable only for the small diesel engine vehicles. So SCR, LNT and the DPF, these three new changes has been made to comply with the BS6 norms of the government of India. Now this is all about the industries and the government. Now what about the consumers? Why consumers prefer diesel variants? So there is also many reasons behind that. First is the issue of the price of diesel, that is the most important one. And obviously since diesel is much more cheaper, the cost of running diesel based car is also much more cheaper. For example, if you look at the figure, diesel cars accounted for almost 48% of the passenger vehicle in India in the year 2013. However, the percentage of diesel cars has been continuously reducing, and as per the current estimate of 2021-2022, it accounts for only 20% of the passenger vehicles. Third is, if we talk about the main reason, is sharply lower price of diesel as compared to petrol. And at one point in time, at its peak, the difference between petrol and diesel price was 25 rupees per liter, which is very, very high price, especially in India, where a large number of middle class families are trying to have a new car for themselves. But all these have changed in recent time, and that is why we can see the changes that happened here as well. Because in 2014, government announced decontrol of fuel prices, and due to this, the price difference has come down to rupees per liter just between the diesel and petrol, and this is the closest the two fuels have been in price since 1991. So that is why this is the price difference between diesel and petrol have reduced. Now consumers are also changing their preferences and going for petrol vehicles rather than just focusing or preferring the diesel vehicles. Now, what is the issues in the recent proposal? So first of all, if we talk about why this recent proposal has been given, so obviously one goal is to ensure that the government of India is able to fulfill its goal of zero reduction, or we can say zero emission standard. Second, it will also comply with the nationally determined contribution the government of India has submitted, the INDCs, at the Paris conference in the COP15 summit, and also this is in line and in keeping with action by most of the federal government across the world, where they are switching to a much more environment friendly fuels. However, if we talk about the car makers and oil companies, as you have discussed, they have invested heavily in transitioning to BS6, and all that investment will be of total waste and could go down the drain if a complete ban were to be implemented on the diesel vehicles. Similarly, we will also experience serious disruption in the commercial vehicle segment because very high diesel penetration and is there in the commercial vehicle segment, and alternative fuel options such as electrical vehicles, LNG, CNGs, hydrogen, etc., they are still in the exploratory phase. So practical implementation of this particular proposal, at least in the present times, seems totally unviable. So thus, what we can say in the conclusion, that the government approach should be technology agnostic, and that interventions should be restricted to prescribing stringent operational standard, including emission norms. So basically what we say, that a particular technology or fuel type is not able to meet the standard. If that is the case, then it should be phased out rather than proposing a complete ban on a technology platform. So that is all about this particular video. I hope you understood about the proposal, the issues with the proposal, and why this proposal has been put into place in the first instance. So that is all for this video. I hope you like the video. If you like the video, please hit the like button, share it with the fellow aspirants, as well as subscribe to our channel for more such content. Thank you.